So how did it start?
So I published my first book, Power and Poise, Plan Your Future, Build Your Wealth, Create Your Success. I published that a few years ago, and after I published that book, I started meeting with people. I met with over 300 individuals and families, and having a financial consultation and talking about them about how they're managing their money. And I realized, in my book, I spelled out the steps on how to get your money right, build your credit, get out of debt, and invest and build wealth. And I realized that if they weren't mentally ready, then they couldn't take those steps. I realized there was a piece missing. So that's why I call this one the missing chapter, because that section is missing in my first book, overcoming just the challenges and adversity with your own personal mindset in order to take those steps on your wealth building journey.
Okay. So how do people respond when you tell them these truths?
Yeah, it takes a lot of self-reflection. It's not immediate. Some of them come back a year later, 2 years later, and just really some self-discovery, self-reflection. I just ask them questions, just really get them to kind of dwell in their habits and their behaviors and why they're spending the way they do, why are they, emotional spending, why are they, you're already in debt, why are you getting more debt? Just really trying to get to the root of these behaviors and habits, which still stems from our mentality, our mental state. So, just asking some really challenging questions and then offering some solutions on how to overcome some of those things and find healthier habits, not just spending because you're upset or eating because you're sad or because a lot of people spend a lot of money on food. And just really getting, it's different for everyone, but it all stems down to what we were taught in our childhood, rather directly or indirectly, just different things we learned throughout just watching our parents or hanging with our friends, and how they deal with money is kind of how we pick up how we deal with money. And then you teach your kids because they see how you deal with money because you watched your parents, and it just creates this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But you've also studied. I saw in your biography you have a degree.
Yes. So I have my master's in business administration. I'm a business lecturer, so I teach business and finance. So I've been teaching for about 7 years now at the collegiate level. So I really enjoy being a college professor and just that education piece. So doing this financial literacy as well and working in personal finance has always been my passion and my interest. So being able to create these books and really just help people really just get there, build wealth, and have better futures in regards to their finances.
So what was your background? What happened to you as a child? Is this all in the book?
Yes.
Okay.
I put in a book my traumatic experience. So my specific traumas, besides money trauma and financial anxiety, was more of just sexual abuse trauma from that, trauma from the financial traumas of being homeless, and financial traumas of just trying to just navigate this world on my own. Like I was had to dealing with sexual abuse as a child, so it was child sexual abuse, and then going into adulthood, I was just kind of put out there, hey, you're 18, you're grown, get gone, and just figure out, how to navigate this world and how to deal. And I realized there was a huge financial component that I wasn't taught, that I needed to know and had to learn the hard way to be able to establish that independence and be able to build from there. But it was just a family trauma. I feel like it was a series of traumas there that I had to overcome in order to build and gain that independence.
And you were homeless. How did you get out of, how long did that happen? How did you get in it? How did you get out of it?
Yes. When I was 18, I got, which a lot of my peers did, as soon as they were 18, kind of got that eviction notice, like, okay, you got to go figure it out. It was like almost a year, maybe almost a year and a half. I ended up moving in with, I was bouncing around house to house, family houses, we call it couch surfing. I was bouncing around house to house and kept getting into like altercations and stuff. So I actually ended up moving in my boyfriend's parents, and I stayed with him for for about like 6 to 9 months. And then eventually we were able to get our own apartment. He was able to sign a lease. We were able to get our own apartment, and we've been living together ever since. That was when I was 19. So we've been living together ever since, got married, and my boyfriend at the time is now my husband.
Okay.
So it worked out, having him. But yeah, it was pretty hard not knowing where I was going to go, how I was going to eat, and different things like that for almost, I want to say it was like a year and a half.
So were you working then, or?
I had, so it was like, I had like part-time jobs, but I was still trying to like go to school. I was at the community college at the time. It was just kind of bouncing around, just doing what I could to just keep going.
That's amazing, though, that you're in those situations, but you went to college and you just made something of yourself.
And you go from homeless to being a college professor. That's pretty good. That's amazing. And you're a mother also, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
have
I have
two children?
Two children. I have 2 children. I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So what's your husband do?
My husband, he's a laborer. He works full time. We've been married this will be our 7th year. We've been married 7th year. We've been together for 17 years. We're high school sweethearts, and yep, been together all this time. And
So did you go to church growing up?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I went to church growing up. I attended church regularly. With either my parents or my grandparents, whoever I was with that weekend. But yes, I grew up in the church.
How did you break out of the childhood trauma? Were you able to talk to somebody and tell somebody, or just can you share any of that?
The childhood trauma, the sexual abuse you're speaking to. Yeah, I told a few people, even a few people in the church, they actually didn't believe me. So I kind of just let it go, and then it kept happening. I was molested on and off from age 13 to 17. And it kept happening, so I finally just went to the authorities and actually had the person prosecuted and sent to prison. And yeah, everyone just got upset with me, and just like I was abandoned. I was like outcast, and I had to get through a lot just on my own. Like even going through court, I was in court by myself. I remember being in school, and the police were coming to my school and different things because I was getting threats and all types of things. It was tough, but yeah, I ended up having to go to the authorities. I ended up winning the case, and I just started my healing journey from there. They got me with therapists and counselors, and I've been in therapy. I'm a huge advocate of therapy. Prayer and therapy works.
We heard that today. Yes.
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 I'm just so surprised because so many times people don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they get to be adults, they don't tell. And
You can't heal what you don't reveal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
what was wrong with the people in the church?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they chose not to believe me, but I told it again. I just kept telling till I told the right person, and the authorities ended up being the right people, and there was more than enough evidence to kind of convict and pursue and get everything resolved, and then I just had to focus on me from there.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. To see more like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button below, get all the latest content from TCT Ministries. We'd love to pray alongside you for God's blessings in your life, so you can email your prayer requests to prayer@tct.tv or click the link below and submit your request at tct.tv. God bless you and thank you for watching.